Hello.
Hello.
Kate and I were both dancing, but I stopped before the timer stopped.
I was still rocking.
Kate says we're fancy with a countdown. Listen, they offered me a countdown in my sidebar, and I went, I need that.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it gives people time to like skip the ad. That's probably not an ad today because I don't think I went through and clicked the button. I should have, but I did not. So, we're cool with that. Hello, Binary. Hello, Taylor. Hello, anyone else who's here. How is everyone doing today?
Hello.
I don't have the thing open, so I don't know.
I'm going to attempt to. But
I just love our dang thumbnail today. I should get a raise for that. It's awesome.
It's very spooky.
It's spooky. Grape's here. Hello, Grape. Hello, Stephanie. How is everyone doing today? How's Kate today?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to do something on Instagram, like a professional.
Like a pro.
Hello. I'm doing good. I just finished just in time. I went and picked up the copy. So I had gotten a copy of this at my library, and then the time was up because I got it right when we were moving and all sorts of stuff. And then I was on hold hoping it would come in again, but it did not. So I bought it today. It was the first time I'd been Barnes & Noble for forever. I also don't know if you can see how many things I dog-eared as I was reading.
30 pages.
I did finish this too, but it was, yeah, so I'm freaking pumped to talk about our books and then also just chat about Preptober panic, because that is exactly where I'm at. Full panic, yes.
I haven't done any Preptober yet. I've got a day and a half.
But you're doing a lot of, you've been working on like your series Bible of sorts, right?
Yeah.
Now, so.
And what's that thing called? An outline.
Yeah, one of those.
It's been so long, I don't even know what it's called anymore. Hello, JC.
Hello.
Oh, there's a dog under my desk.
No.
I've barely Preptobered. Agreed. What's an outline? I don't know, Grape. You tell me. We'll both know.
Who knows? Yes, the two people who've convinced me to try the Kanban board again.
Good.
Instead of a quarter, I think I'm only going to do the 2 months, and we'll see how that goes. And then I can start over in January.
Hello, Marina.
Hello.
I'm going to be honest. Like the first 3 weeks of this month, I was very much like, I got plenty of time. I've got a week of vacation.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, week of vacation. I ain't done nothing yet. So the only thing I did this week so far is reorganize my bookshelves. And that took me 2 days. And I'm still not really happy with it.
How are you? What sort of method?
I don't know that there is one.
Okay, interesting. Gotcha.
I try to keep genres together and then like by height.
See, okay, over here, genres and by height, judging me for having a mixture of my read and unread books together.
Stop. That's weird. How else would you do it?
I have genre and then alphabetical. So all the young adults, the only section that's broken off between read and unread is young adult. And then all the others are a hodgepodge. But the plus side is I know what I've read.
I can't do the alphabetical because then every time I read something, I have to like move everything down and it makes me crazy.
It's a bit of reshuffling. Also, though, this is why the key is to have just more bookshelf space than books. So this system will work until it doesn't.
Right. I had my alphabetical for a while and I didn't love it. And I think it's because I have so many like large collections of people that ended up like spanning 3 or 4 shelves. Yeah. And it was just like I want them all on one shelf. This is annoying.
Yeah.
Or like all on two shelves instead of half of one, half of another, and then all of another.
That's fair.
So I don't know. I may at some point do just like a mains favorite in the middle and then like everything else alphabetical on the sides.
Yeah, why not?
What's wrong with by height? It's pretty that way. God.
You know, it is. And look, I had judged people for having a rainbow bookshelf, and then I had one, and I was like, I get it now. It's pretty. Like, they were all unread books, so it made sense. I wasn't gonna like.
I would organize mine by rainbow color, but it would just all be black. So
there are so many black books. Yes, that was the big thing, is that I did the rainbow shelves, and then the entire like last shelf and underneath were black. So every time I sat in front of the rainbow shelf, it was really just like 2 shelves worth.
You have to have a lot of contemporary books to do rainbow shelves.
Or romance, get some of the pinks and the reds in there that you don't have.
I mean, I have some color. I have like 2 shelves with color on them. Maybe 3. Maybe 3.
That's enough to have a rainbow.
Like just one rainbow shelf.
Just one rainbow shelf.
Right in the middle, just like full on rainbow colors.
It would look real good, and then surrounded by black and white. Yeah.
Listen, I don't know what I was watching the other day, but there was like a 25-year-old person that was talking about how they didn't know what the colors of the rainbow were. And I was like, what? You don't know what the colors of the rainbow are?
Like they didn't know what they're called, or like they didn't know which colors counted?
Right. Like they didn't know which colors were in the rainbow.
This is like one of those dumb things that you're like, don't say that out loud, but also please do it, say it out loud. Like, I want to know this.
Like, how do you not know? I wish I could remember what I was watching so bad. I think it was actually somebody doing a bookshelf, doing a bookshelf tour that was doing rainbow shelves, but they weren't sure what colors were in the rainbow, so they were just guessing what order they went in.
A moment of silence.
For their brain cells that no longer exist.
I need you to go through your watch history and tell us what this video is, because I want to watch them just struggle a little. I need to know what kind of struggle we're talking about.
I'll look it up later and I'll send it to you.
Like, were they like, I don't know, does green come before red? Or
how do you not know Roy? Roy G. Bibb, hello? Marina says most of her books are blue.
Oh, you know, my favorite thing is going to the bookstore, and Half Price Books used to have the section that was just like aquatic. And it's so fun seeing how blue that shelf was compared to all the other shelves as you walk past.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, the publishers know exactly what the aquatic readers want.
I will say, I do have like my really pretty collection, my UK paperback editions of the Mortal Instruments, and it makes me crazy that they put a different rainbow color on each book, but they're not in rainbow order.
I
like,
did not think that through.
I mean, they're not all rainbow colors. Like, there's a purple and a blue, a gray, a green, an orange, and a red.
Oh,
they're almost all there, but they did not put them in any semblance of an order. So every time I look at it, I'm just like,
I sometimes wonder if publishers don't do this on purpose just to get at the like very particular book people. And then you'll talk about it more, you know? Like what kind of reverse psychology are we trying to work at here?
Right. Taylor says, y'all organize your bookshelves, series stay together, but otherwise stuff goes where it fits.
You know.
I did this like in my house too with like my furniture. After like 4 or 5 months, I get really bored with it and everything has to move. And so I do the same thing with my bookshelves. Like every 2 or 3 months, especially after I've read a good number of books in a month, it's like, all right, whole reshuffle needs redone.
I don't know that mine's 3 or 4 months, but it is once a year. I'm completely moving everything. The plus side of these shelves is that they're like mostly permanent, but that means that this desk and all the other desks and stuff
It's just gonna like rotate annually.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I need to switch it up.
I just, yeah. I get bored with it and it needs to change. And like this month, I should have waited until the end of the month because I read a lot this month, but I just went ahead and put them all on there and I'll just have to pull them off when I do my wrap up.
Let me tell you, I love the TBR takedown. I made that whole video where I counted up my books again.
Yeah.
I'm going to record it now. And so I'm going to do more or less what the Jessica's doing, which, to be fair, did I just buy a book today? Yes.
I'm just saying that, like, literally in that video, I didn't catch it until I was watching back the edited version on 2x speed, and I hauled a book and said it didn't count because I'd already read it, but then I read it that month, so it totally counted. Like, it wasn't like I read it the month before. So I'm already one off. Like, I already know I'm off. I found a book last month that I never wrote down as a haul last year, or in January. So like that never got added.
Yeah.
And, like, this one never got added. So I don't really know where I'm at. So the physical count in December should be interesting. Because I'm
Yeah, no, I like the entire just recount at the end of the year.
I have to, because I get like I lose track of things. I unhaul books and forget that I unhauled them.
And this is why I'm debating, because I love your monthly TBR takedown, but part of me is like, Jessica's more organized than I am. If she's getting confused, maybe I should just stick to once a year and just do a full tally and be like, okay, I have made progress. Or once a quarter if I do the Kanban board stuff and whatever. Like, I can work it in there.
I keep track too much because I have in my planner on my reading spreadsheet, and I also have like 4 or 5 different Google Docs that I like keep track of stuff in. So I keep too much track, and so then I lose stuff.
I love that it's like the opposite problem.
It's too much.
Doesn't keep track at all. Problem. Too much track.
Too much track. Oh, if the books have made it from my nightstand to the shelves, it's a good day.
I saw someone comment on my video where they said that they stacked books on the floor. And that way, because it would be so frustrating to have them on the floor, they would read them faster. And I was like, yeah, that would not work for me. And suitcases.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, 100%.
I just like the quarterly manic feng shui. Like, that is so accurate.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's absolutely accurate. I know my count's going to be higher than I anticipate, but I will hope for a lower one, but it ain't going to
work. I will pretend.
Knock them over and leave them in piles for months. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm committing to keeping them on the floor.
Listen, we're all grown-ups. We've all played everyone's favorite collegiate game, Trash Jenga, where you just stack stuff on top of the trash can, waiting for someone else to take the trash out so you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been there. I was there today. In fact, we've all been there. So, you know.
Yeah.
Fine. We should probably talk about a book.
Sure. Do we want to book Preptober? I mean, you haven't Preptobered too much. I'm happy to talk about books.
We should Preptober and then talk about books later, in case people want to talk about Preptober and then people want to talk about books can hang out later. We do normally do that.
We do normally.
It's been a couple of months, so I'm a little lost.
It has been, and also like time is going back to being weird again. I mean, it's been weird this entire year, but I swear it was moving so slow and then moving really fast. And then this past month leading up to the election, it's back to very slow again. And my mind is just all shot. So who cares what we usually do?
We didn't even do one last month. Who knows?
Who knows?
The month before you were there, but I wasn't. I mean, it's fine. It's totally fine.
It's a mess.
We're a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah.
Jessica wants to know, what is time?
Excellent question.
On Sunday, if you live in the United States, time's going to change. So
that's true.
Most are in Arizona or parts of Indiana.
Yeah. I had like a whole hour or something where I was literally trying to make sense in my head of the spring forward versus fall back thing. And it was just one of those days where it was not making sense. It's fine.
Was it Tuesday on Becca and Hannah's live stream? Because they tried to figure it out for like 15 minutes.
David, no, it wasn't. But I feel a little bit better that it wasn't just me. I'm like, it happens twice a year. It shouldn't be confusing anymore. But I was just like, I don't get it.
Like, I understand Hannah's confusion because she grew up in Arizona.
Oh, so it's like
she's never had it. But Becca?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's this too. Beatrix says it's already gone back an hour there. And then if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's going forward because they're at the other end of it. So then you're like getting 2 hours apart from people 2 more hours apart from people that you were only so far. I don't know how we keep track of any of these things. I'm telling y'all, like, I would not make it without World Time Buddy. World Time Buddy is my hero. It accounts for daylight savings time. It is one of the few that does it for you that you don't have to do the math in your brain. It's amazing. Yes. I love it. It's my hero. Download. I just downloaded I don't know if I can find it. I got a code from this month's Owlcrate for an audiobook of Ray Bear by Jordan Efueco, I believe, which has been on my radar since the book fest in April, but I haven't picked it up yet. So
it took everything in me not to pick up Cemetery Boys at Barnes and Noble when I was there. So
Barnes and Noble has the really pretty edition with like gold gild on the hardcover.
But I didn't do it. I was like, you keep the one book. Because if I let myself go, I'll go back to my binge book buying, and I don't want to go there again. I've overcome it, and I don't need to slip back.
Until last month, I had overcome it, but now it has returned. Grape has a weird question. I'm ready. What is it?
I am too. I'm very excited.
I'm ecstatic.
Oh, Bella liked Ray Bear.
I am worried that I'm not going to like it because a lot of people are like, a lot of people who really liked it really also liked I can't even remember the name of the book. What's it called? I just read it. Where Dreams Descend? Does that sound like a book? Yeah, Where Dreams Descend. And I did not like that. Is it pronounced scribed or scribed?
How do you pronounce it?
I say scribed.
I do too. But now I'm also wondering, because you are a scribe, right?
Right, and I look at it as like subscription. So I say scribed because it's a subscription, but scribe would make more sense because you're a scribe.
No, you're a scribe. So I don't know why. Like subscribed.
Scribed.
Like subscribed.
honestly, I think the people that I started, like the booktubers that I watched that I learned about it said scribed, and so that's what or scribed. So that's what I said. Now I'm saying scribe because I mean also
we're getting confused.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was that's we're so who knows?
Who knows? Not me.
Is this like a GIF kind of thing?
No, because there's only one right answer to that. I don't know which one it is, but there's only one right answer.
It's GIF. I feel strongly.
I say GIF, but also GIF. It's
no.
like caramel and caramel and pecan. It's just like whatever you hear first, you say, and some of us just say them all interchangeably, whichever word comes out first.
So caramel and caramel I'll use interchangeably, but I'm loving the strong feelings. But I don't think any of the others I use interchangeably. And I don't know why that one is the exception.
I don't know. Look, we don't say giraffics. I mean Jurassic Park.
GIF.
I read an article at one point where like the creator of the term said that it was supposed to be pronounced GIF, but that like it had taken on its own thing, and so it's GIF now. But like he intended it for it to be GIF. I don't know. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I mean, fair enough. Okay, help you prep for Nano. All right. Kate, what have you done to prep for Nano?
1, I chose a project. 2, I am working on rereading that project. File 3, making the outline and reread notes, which I've now combined into one. The big problem is that the front end of Project Death was actually relatively solid. It's when I hit like I don't know if it's the break into 2 moment or something. No, because that's pretty later on. I don't know Save the Cat term still, but it's like 1/3 of the way through where we introduce a character and then it starts going down and I'm like, oh no. So I'm not there yet in my prep, which is unfortunate. So now NaNoWriMo is going to be part rewriting, part still prepping to rewrite. What have you done, Jessica?
Nothing. I have put sticky notes on my board. They're right there.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same ones that were there last month that haven't moved yet.
Perfect.
Well, no, they're new because this is the first month of this quarter.
October, yeah.
So they've been there at the beginning of the month, and they're still there. I haven't done anything yet. I have kind of figured out what I'm going to attempt to use a template for Scrivener that KM Whalen created. So I'm going to attempt to use that to outline whenever I finally get there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, good news. A week or 2 ago, I got an email from Scrivener that the next version update for Windows that will make it a lot more similar to current Apple version should be coming early next year.
So here's the thing from what I've heard. So, okay, several people have told me that the Windows version actually isn't that bad. And then I still have other people telling me the Windows version is that bad when compared with Mac. But apparently they've been promising a new updated version for forever.
4 years.
Hopefully this is actually legit, but.
I don't think Scrivener on Windows is terrible, but it's not fair, in my opinion, that I pay the same price as someone on Apple and the Apple version is a lot better.
Yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm.
That's where I have take issue with, is that
they should discount it. Yeah, for sure.
It shouldn't be the same price for two different products, because it is two different products.
Yeah.
And there are things that you can do on a Mac that you can't do on a PC that I think would be helpful.
Yeah.
But I think if you are wanting something more than like Windows or like just a plain Google Doc, Windows, what I meant was Word or a Google Doc, that I think it is good for that, because you can separate out by chapters and things, which you can do in a Google Doc also. But yeah, it's
debate. Yeah.
They did say that last year. And that was kind of the thing that like was in there. Part of me wonders if they do it like in October every year, if they're like, oh, but beginning of next year, because they know that people at the end of Nano or at the beginning of Nano are going to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I just feel like it's kind of a ripoff to
Windows people. Yeah.
Selling a first draft for the price of the final book when other people get the final book and you don't.
Yeah.
And
all the advertisement, like, do you even know that you're not getting all the cool stuff? Like, that's the other confusing part.
Well, because I've seen, like, if you look up Scrivener tutorials on how to use Scrivener for writing, almost all of those tutorials are people who have a Mac or a Mac version.
Yeah.
And it's stuff that I can't do.
Yeah.
So like they show you like, I mean, it's better now than it was probably 2 or 3 years ago, because they've done like some bug fixes and some patches, but they haven't done like a full fix. Like, I don't understand. They said they have like 2 people working on it. Like, you have 2 people working on this up. That's it. Just 2.
How big's the company too? Like, that's the part I don't know. I just have questions.
Yeah. But also, I mean, you can do pretty much everything. I think you can do pretty much everything on Scrivener if you use like Google Docs and like OneNote, which is what I do. Or Google Docs and some other form like Campfire or something that works for you. I also wonder if Campfire works better on Mac, and that's why you like it better than I do.
And yeah, it might be.
I wonder if that's part of it too.
Yeah, it's so weird, so many design stuff, because like before I got this MacBook, this is my first MacBook, I always had PC, and then for like 2 years, I only had a Chromebook, which nothing worked on. Other than like I got to use all the Google Docs, and that worked fine for a while. But now it's like I have a whole world of stuff designed just for me, kind of thing. And it's just weird how they've decided, because I don't think there's that many people who have Macs in comparison. Like, I know it's the creative stuff, but I don't know.
I used them when I was doing audio engineering, but that's because what most of the programs and stuff work with, like your Pro Tools and stuff, all work with Mac. So
yeah.
I haven't used it in probably a decade, because I haven't been in the music scene for a decade or more. But yeah, I just never found it, which is the weirdest thing to say. It was never user friendly to my brain that had grown up not using it.
With Windows the whole time, yeah.
I was set in my ways like a grandma. Let's see. Yeah.
100%. Mm-hmm.
Better be off the freaking charts.
Well, that's what I've seen so many people say, that they've just removed, for Windows people, they've just decided never to get Scrivener, even if it gets better, because they're just so tired of the fake promises.
I will say Casey and JC both said that they're just going to stick with Microsoft Word. I will say, if you ever write anything where you need like more notes, more information, if you need like a story Bible per se, OneNote is amazing.
And that's what I do love Google Docs for, is a similar sort of organization system, all in one folder. I have the story and the chapters go in there, and then I have all the like prep stuff, and then I have like character sheets, and it's the one I use for my co-writer and I, so like we can do a shared Google Drive, and it works really well. So
yeah, I think at some point, I'm hoping at some point that they have it better. I am going to try the new Campfire stuff when it does come out.
Blaze.
Yeah, and see how that works. But I do think that I struggled too much with it. Like, I spent an entire month trying to do something that just didn't work out for me. So
Yeah. I really like the timeline feature. It's actually way more helpful than I thought, to the point that I still have Aeon Timeline, which is what I used before for timeline stuff, because I have to see visually what my timeline looks like. So I know not everyone needs this. But now that I have Campfire, I don't know that I'm going to be using my Aeon Timeline at all, because it basically serves the function, but better. So anyways.
Well, and I think that was the point of Campfire, is that you can do things that you would get with multiple different companies and programs in one program.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally do everything but write your novel in it. So, I mean, it makes sense. This is the other one. Waiting for a massive file to load on Google Docs when you have the whole thing on there.
100%. You have to break it up into chapters. That is
yeah.
And you may not like doing that, which I totally understand. I have not even heard of that. Pages. Is that on the MacBook? Does it map like the pages?
I don't know what that is. I'm out. I got nothing. That's part of Preptober prep. What program are you using? And can we complain about them for 20 minutes? So will you be using like your normal Scrivener and Campfire for this project?
Yep, I think it's just going to be Campfire and Scrivener through the whole way. I still wanted to try and make a cover, but I think that might be like a fun mid-November thing when my brain's fried, because so behind on the prep.
I've never made like a placeholder cover for a Nano project.
I never had either.
And I may this time around, because, you know, I like dicking around on Canva. So
why not? Yeah.
I mean, there are other people that use Canva templates and sell book covers for that. So, I mean, I could just do it for my book for a placeholder.
We have seen that. Oh, that feels like a lifetime ago. That's funny.
I wish that was tea, but it wasn't. Pages is the built-in Apple program for word processing.
Okay, yeah.
I used to like doing things on paper until I started writing a series with like 10 point of views and multiple species and languages and worlds and creatures, and it just became, well, I had a 3-inch binder and I outgrew it. So, but I also had a character sheet for all of my characters, and I had like 100 and some characters. So,
holy shit! I was gonna say, how do you keep track? But I guess it's the character sheet.
A lot of them don't exist anymore. Is how you keep track. I mean, it's been 15 years.
Yeah.
You look like H.P. Lovecraft's cat.
Do not know.
Oh, because this one says look up the name of H.P. Lovecraft's cat. Are there 2 dudes in here
who just came in to talk about H.P. Lovecraft's cat?
Like, just with random black and white photos? Are we getting punked? Bella says that her handwriting is so horrific that if she handwrote, she wouldn't be able to decipher her own writing enough to read it. That's fair.
100%.
Kate and I 100% have that problem at times. We've been there. We understand. super simple cover on the Nano page. Made a mock cover for the project. I'm not even doing. Turned out pretty okay, and I'm proud of myself. Way to go, Grape.
Oh, you will have that. You will have that mock cover.
Made a poster for my Nano novel.
Dang.
Paper for initial ideas and concepts. Write a synopsis or a story concept in my ideas notebook. Yeah, I write on hand typically in a first draft, just because it's quicker. What are you doing? Why is this happening? Why? There's a cat here. And she's like laying on top of my arms. Can you not? Can I have some personal space? Do you know what boundaries are? Like, no, I'm a cat. I don't. Anyway, I write by hand for some stuff because it's quicker, but
you know. I still brainstorm by hand.
Trolls in the dungeon for sure. Okay, good to know. All right.
Yeah, we'll see if we can.
Oh,
you beat me.
I win. Would you stop? I mean, you're not wrong. James Tulis, How to Write an Amazing Epic Fantasy Story. I have not, but I have been doing a lot of weird, random stuff. So, but I will write that down and I will look into it.
Yes, I'm curious too. Also, I'm going to go let my dog inside. I'll be back.
No, you're not allowed.
Just now cold enough that I need a blanket.
Not allowed to let the dog inside. Okay. Excuse you, I would like to write on this piece of paper and I can't because you're laying here in my way. Dang cat. Hi, Hudson. I'm sorry I didn't say hi. Okay. Writing this down so that I have that for later. Merlin. Okay. Yeah, Merlin is, let me move that. Right there. Like she's chilling. Buffy and Zelda hanging out.
Okay.
I see a big Duke noggin.
He was. I think he's going to go into the boyfriend's room, so went ahead and shut it. Oh, we'll see. Buffy might want to go off too. It might just be Zelda. Buffy, would you like to go back out?
Do you guys see this? Do you see this? What is this?
Okay. No. No.
All right, Merlin, go play. Get your butt out of my face. I don't want to see your butthole. Nobody wants to look at your butthole. What is with cats and buttholes? My cat's name is Merlin. It's spelled like that.
With a Y.
With a Y. Because when we got Merlin for the first 6 months of her life, we thought she was a dude. And we named her after Malcolm Merlin from Arrow because she was evil. So. And this, my friends, is what happens when you name an animal after John Barrowman. I'm just saying. That's what happened. 100%.
Oh my God. Why do these people go away?
Bella asking what everybody's working on for Nano.
Project Death. Jessica, what are you working on for?
Well, I think that I will be working on same project I'm always working on. My high fantasy story that I've been working on for like 20 years now. It's fine.
I am still hopeful that one day you'll get to do your fan fiction project idea in full.
Yeah, that too. That I want to work on, but
Yeah.
there's so many projects that I want to do.
It's so hard choosing, and then also the time dedicated.
I work so little on all of the projects that I want to do. If I'd actually work on them some more, I could get some more things done. So, I mean, fair enough to myself. But hi, Lauren.
Hello.
I don't even know if like this is a real comment or a troll comment. Like it's so like
that's what they basically filled in the one that I blocked, but with a different way. Yeah, I don't know. How do
we have this many trolls with only 34 people?
I don't understand.
What is this? I'll leave that one in case something else. I'll leave it.
Yeah.
It can stay for now. But I shall pass it. Light fantasy loosely inspired by Arthurian legend, which I love.
I do love too. Yes.
I don't have a name for it. I just refer to my names by the comment of I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, and it is not working out for me.
What's the name of the story?
I need a nap.
I was trying to help because I definitely see it.
I just use the main character's first name. So.
Okay. Yeah.
That main character is Alexandra, which it has changed since its original. I changed the main character's name after like 13 years. It's fine.
What was it at first?
Originally, her name was Alchemy, but I had a couple of different people that had read it kind of early on, and they said that it was confusing because they didn't think of it as a name. They thought of it as the science, and so they couldn't like grasp the concept of the person with the name
Which is so funny because since then, I feel like that's been a YA trend just to pick. I'm thinking specifically about America.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of them.
Well, I mean, I read Teardrop by Lauren Kate last month before, and the main character's name is Eureka.
Yeah.
That's a rough one. It's fine. It's totally fine. We do have a lot of trolls. I don't know. The troll was trolling the troll. You think it's a troll? I do think it was an anti-Semitic troll, like for sure. I mean, Gringotts, Natalie has 2 nano projects. One's a parallel universe, and the other is a contemporary companion novel to her first manuscript. So, together they shall equal 50K.
Yay!
I mean, I'm not talking about high elves. You might be, but I'm not. I don't understand. Anyway, Alchemy is a cool name, but there also was one other thing, and that is that I couldn't come up with like nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it didn't work for me. Like it didn't for a long time. I really tried to like come up with nicknames that I liked, but I didn't. And okay, doing that. And so yeah, it's just a thing. And I didn't want to confuse people, and I think part of it too is like I started to really hate it when it happens in YA books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, it reminds me of the I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding thing, where it's like I'm 100% sure I used that before, and then everyone was using it. And now I can't use that phrase because we've all just beat it to death.
I read something. God, I wish I had wrote it down when I read it, but I read something fairly recently that was published fairly recently that said a sentence similar to that, but was basically like, I can't believe that it really happened, but I actually let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. And like the character is someone who reads a lot.
So they were aware. That's funny.
Right. So it was like, it was that self-insertion awareness of like, people say this all the time. So
Oh gosh, I wish I remember what book it was. I saw that there was going to be a YA book out where it's like the person was a book reviewer online, and that was the whole thing. And I'm like, that's kind of a genius marketing ploy if I've ever heard one. Like selling a book, a main character is an online book reviewer to online book review people and then other people who read books. I'm like, of course, genius.
And that's like part of the reason why I really want this book to be like, put in all of the tropes, like all of the high fantasy tropes, but
and then just
them different.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, that's just why it's why the project takes so long, because I'm trying to do other things than just tell the damn story.
Yeah.
And if I was telling the damn story, it would be okay. But I'm trying to be creative in my storytelling.
And different.
I'm trying to make an awesome project, but it's not working out for me. She wondered who was screaming and realized it was her. Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Well, that's what, and to be fair, something similar, and this is actually in Stalking Jack the Ripper, was like, I heard a scream, you know, when it's something dramatic, and I heard it before realizing it was me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I'm like, to be fair though, that's like a valid way of explaining exactly what like sheer terror is. But
well, and I mean, it was at a pretty horrific part of the book.
Oh God, yes.
So like it makes sense. And I've heard it in other books as well. Like
yeah. I'm pretty sure I've used it too.
I love it when it's in like books where the character is like a really sarcastic asshole and they're like, and as I fell over, I heard someone screaming. It was probably me. I'm a screaming bitch. Like,
yeah.
I've seen that in books. I'm like, you did not even just go there. I feel like that's also.
I do too, and I don't see anything else. God, what happened?
30 people, and 25 of them are trolls. I don't understand. She could read the anger in his eyes.
Yeah, Taylor. That also, okay, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know. Like, it looked off and I was confused because it didn't have anything to do with the conversation, but also not things that I knew.
Oh, shoot, it went away. That's what you were talking about?
Yes, yeah. And that's the one you banned who'd actually commented it. But I didn't
have no idea about any of this.
No. So.
Yeah. Not what I was going for. Why did I get all of the anti-Jew people? Like what? How did I get that? I don't understand.
I don't know how they find these live streams.
I don't either.
Such a small corner and we're talking about books. Go away.
Listen, if I had like 300 people in here, I could understand 5 trolls. But it's 30 people. Something wrong. I'm trying to think of what else are we going to talk about that has to do with Preptober.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all have questions, otherwise we've like talked shit for 50 minutes. So if we just want to move over to this, I'm cool too. Like,
We'll give you a couple minutes for any last minute questions, and then we're jumping to book chats.
yeah, I definitely feel like I've just been waiting for NaNoWriMo to get here for the longest time.
I think Kate is a troll magnet for sure, but normally there are way more of them.
And it's kind of like this one where it's random, because there was one time where there were so many, it was terrible. And then other times it's like, there's none. It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't like when I do my lives on Friday nights. I don't think I've ever had any.
Yeah.
Maybe they're all sleeping.
Yeah, who knows?
Any advice for balancing a day job and writing?
Oof.
I wish I could tell you that.
Yeah, and when I was doing it, I did not balance it well. So that's what I think. I think I only won 1 year NaNoWriMo when I was working my day job. So.
I mean, really, I wouldn't say it's like the way to balance a day job and writing, but if you are trying to win Nano and get 50,000 words, you do really have to think about, and this kind of goes for everybody, but you really have to think about what days you're going to be able to commit to writing and what days you're not. And so if you have to mark off certain days, you need to make sure that you recalculate your month for how many words you need to hit every day, taking out the days that you're not going to be able to work on your project. And then if you need to say you end up taking out however many days that you end up recalculating to where you need 2,500 words a day to make it to the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And during the week you're not going to be able to write as many words as you are on the weekends, so you lower your weekdays to 1,000, and then you have to bulk that up on your weekends and make it whatever the math is for that. Maybe it's 33,250. I don't know. Not a mathematician. But I mean, that's really the best way. You really have to look at it that way, especially when you have a day job, because you're not going to have the time to write during the week that you do on the weekends. So you need to really adjust your daily numbers for in the beginning, because if you don't, you're going to get halfway through the month and you're going to be behind already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you're going to like potentially feel bad about it. I also really love, besides just like recalculating what days to get what, the reverse NaNoWriMo calendar or whatever it's called. You start with like the first day you're writing 5,000 words, and then it basically goes incrementally down each day so that the last day you're only writing 1 word.
Yeah.
And I think that because you have so much enthusiasm at the start, if you can bulk up getting ahead, which I think even with the day job, again, the enthusiasm really carries you. So if you can do that, and then if you miss a day or like whatever, that helps too.
For sure. Julie, I feel that. I actually moved my live for tomorrow night to 3:00 in the afternoon instead of tomorrow night, because Julie and Chelsea are going to be live tomorrow night chatting, and I want to be chatting with them instead of doing reading sprints. And I'm off work this week, so I'm going to do my reading sprints earlier in the day. Also, how am I off this week and I did not go to your Twitch stream on Monday? Because I yell at you all the time because you're never live when I'm not at work.
How dare you?
Didn't even think about it.
I will also be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can join me on Twitch.
If I'm awake, I'll be there.
Yes. Yes.
So you don't like to prepare, you just like to go into it and roll with it? Is that what I'm taking from this? I'm just curious.
Oh. Yeah.
Stig, beep, boop. Hello.
Hello. I tried to delete that one. Did they come back?
I don't even know. I don't even know. What is happening? Oh, Jesus. I don't even know.
I don't either.
I don't even know where I am anymore. Okay, I'm gonna double check and make sure nobody asks any more questions, and then we're gonna jump away because I'm losing it. JC wants to know if anybody is starting their Nano on Saturday, a day early.
I like that enthusiasm.
I'm not, because I'm still going to be prepping on Saturday. But if you guys don't know, Sunday for 24 hours, and I have actual times in Eastern Standard Time zones to help myself out, but I will share them.
Excited.
So Eastern Standard Time, it'll be 10:30 p.m. on
the 31st.
The 31st to 10:30 p.m. on the 1st. It's actually 25 hours because there's an hour for our time change in there. But Matilda at the Nerdy Book Nerd and Bug at Tay Buggy are doing a full 24-hour live stream. Like, they are legitimately going to be live streaming for 24 hours. They're going to be 6 hours on one channel, 6 hours on the other, and bounce back and forth. And I'm going to be co-hosting. I know Steeg's going to be co-hosting. There's going to be some other co-hosts. So if you want to check that out, you can. Julie's doing sprints on Sunday as well. I don't remember what time because I didn't write it down because I'm going to be sprinting.
That's what
24-hour sprints while Julie's sprinting, so I don't remember, but she's very productive during sprints, whereas we're typically more chatty.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be productive, check out Julie at Pages and Pens for less chatty.
I'm doing Panic Preptober sprints on the 31st. Devasha's going to be joining me too. Have I put that up anywhere yet? No. But I'm going to do it.
I would promote that for you if you would.
I will do that after this chat. We'll get everything organized like I've been saying I will.
I promote all of the things that I know about. I can't promote things I don't know about, so.
Yeah. Yep.
Fair enough, right? Okay. Book chat. Let's talk about a book.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the short book first or the long book first?
Well, you know what? I'm going to let you decide. I have to run to the restroom. So I'm leaving you in your time of, nah. I didn't mute. I just thought it was funny.
I'm not crazy, y'all. I'll be seeing Kerri Maniscalco. Do you mean like everywhere, as in like in this chat, or just everywhere like on the internet? Because I haven't seen that name pop up at all. And I know I'm falling apart, but I don't think I'm falling apart quite that bad. I don't know. I could be wrong. That makes me very happy. Stayed up till 4 a.m. today and was able to write the ending of my fantasy story. Been working on for years. That's awesome. I mean, 4 a.m., not great, but the rest of it, awesome. Everyone else is okay. I was like, is there somebody that I can't even see? Because I am curious. So did anybody read Bloodchild or Stalking Jack the Ripper? Let's start with that. And whoever read the most of, we'll talk about that one first.
Yes.
That makes the most sense.
Oh, interesting.
Fair enough.
freaking dog wants me to pet her so bad.
Zelda!
You see that? Like, I'm trying to get her to hop up like she likes to do, and she just stared at me and rolled over more and was like, pets.
Zelda!
So I will be right here.
What are you doing, Zelda?
She just wants a little belly rub.
My dogs are like, what? Are you talking to a dog? Are you talking to another dog?
That sounds like your dog voice.
Everyone says, pet her. Of course, they were telling me to let a horse in my house the other day, so I don't know if you should listen to them. DNF means did not finish or do not finish. Basically means that you read part of a book and then decide not to finish it. Here for all the spoilers. Fair enough. I read Stalking Jack the Ripper a few times, but haven't read the other.
Oh.
Do not read either. Ripper is on my TBR. Zelda! I'm surprised that she doesn't react to me saying her name.
I think I can kind of hear it and kind of not.
Is she desensitized to people yelling her name?
She might be this way. Zelda, come here.
I should not have let the horse in. You people are crazy.
Whoops.
Stig's getting a dog next week, and he's so excited.
What kind? Yay!
Stig and I are both getting a dog next week because we share a brain, so that means I'm also getting a dog.
Those are the rules, yes.
This is the rules.
Yes.
Stalking Jack the Ripper is part of a series.
And is it done at 4 books?
Yes.
It was concluded. Okay.
It was only supposed to be a trilogy, but they asked her to do a 4th book.
And she's like, sure. Oh, can we also talk about how it was a James Patterson imprint and then how that shut
Now
down?
it's no longer a James Patterson imprint because there isn't one.
Yeah.
There's a horse in the hospital and we're fine. What harm could a horse do you in your house? I mean, first off, she almost kicked through the back glass because she wanted in that bad. Because our back doors are glass and she almost came through them. So rude.
That is rude.
She's very nosy. She likes to escape. She's not a good girl. Okay. Let's talk about Stalking Jack the Ripper. It looks like, hold on, wait, let me find it. I've covered it up. It looks like this.
Yes. Oh, I have. Mine is technically an art copy. Mine looks like this.
I think that might be the dress from a different book, maybe. I don't know. They
what
actually
look like again? Oh.
See, now what they said was that they took all of the pictures at the same time for all 4 books, and they just changed the dress, digitally changed the dress out.
Fascinating. Yeah.
So, because someone asked Kerri about that, when the 2nd or 3rd book came out. So.
Huh.
Actually, from what I understand and from what Kerri said, the arcs for Escaping from Houdini were actually different than the final publication because it was originally written to be the end, which is the 3rd book. Capturing the Devil was the 4th book. But she said that the original, which I've heard different conflicting things, but basically what I heard from her post was that she had the arcs were different than the actual printed copy because she had to go back through and change the end of the 3rd book because they wanted a 4th book. I could be wrong about that, but that was what I remember reading.
That's interesting.
James Patterson and several other people that have imprints, which basically just means, if you don't know what an imprint is a smaller publishing section underneath of a publishing house umbrella.
Yeah, it's like a branch off. Usually, like this one is a young adult branch of the Little Brown.
Yeah.
Patterson's in print.
And a lot of them have shut down. They, like, last week or the week before, they closed a bunch of them.
Yeah, there were some young adult specifically ones that.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or if they're just like trying to, I think it probably is, they're trying to lower staff members. Because Kerri said that her books are so good. Like, this series will continue to still be published. Her newest book that came out this week will be published still under Jimmy Patterson. And the next book for that series is also going to be a Jimmy Patterson book because that's what her contract is under.
Mm-hmm.
But she said that basically she will still be taken care of by the Little Brown team, but her team specifically is no longer there.
Yeah.
So the Jimmy Patterson team is not there anymore.
There's a lot of editors that lost their jobs. Basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that work in the publishing industry that have lost their jobs in the last couple of weeks. It's really not a good time to be in the business of publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing since we're here.
It's just, it was an interestingly timed since I didn't start reading this until right around that news hit. And I was just like, oh, look, this is actually like, I don't know if the new, the Note in Y'all's book has this, but James Patterson had a note that was basically like, this is the first book I ever acquired for my imprint.
Yeah.
So.
I remember seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the forward.
Yeah. Well, that's fascinating. Yeah, so.
And this book came out in 2016
is what the plus side of the art copies is. It tells you when supposedly it's going to come out.
You didn't have to work hard to find it. Yeah. September of 2016. So that publishing house has only been in existence for 4 years. Well, not the publishing house itself.
That's different. Yeah.
Now, I will say there were some indie publishing houses that closed this year. And one of my friends that's an author, they closed shop and took all of her money. So there are definitely worse stories out there.
You got to be careful with some of these small publishers, and this is a total aside. You really got to do your research on that, because a lot of these small publishers, you should just go the indie, like you should just publish yourself and do self-publishing for what some of these small publishers can offer you. So just make sure you're doing your research. Yeah.
The first book, JC, is the Stalking Jack the Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 4 books in the series. We read the first book. Kate and I both guessed the killer at the same time. Not the same time, because I read it 4 years ago when it came out, and Kate read it this week, but in the same place of the book.
Yeah. Shall we just dive into spoilers? Is this our this is our warning?
Okay. So non-spoiler is that it's late 18th century, late 1800s, early 1900s. Does that sound right?
Victorian period. Yeah.
Victorian period. I don't know. It's a historical fiction. There's some blood and guts in it. It has to do with a girl that's trying to be a forensic scientist.
Yeah,
we'll go with that. She does autopsies on people.
Yes.
She is hunting Jack the Ripper because she wants to solve the crime. She thinks she can do it.
Some of the bodies turned up that she got to like help look over, and then they kind of deduced and followed along the mystery, which ended up being more intertwined as the clues are laid out with her personal life than originally was expected.
And it does have like, every time I have reviewed this book, every time I talk about it, I say that Audrey Rose is like, she's not like the person that goes outside of the box. She stands on top of the box, stomps it down, lights it on fire. Like, for that time period, she's very much outside of the box. And as the series progresses, that definitely continues, especially in the 4th book. So if you like really, which is not realistic for historical fiction, let's be honest, because she would have been like committed, probably.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you know, for reading, it's fun, but for actuality, would not have happened.
Yeah, and like she references that throughout the book. She's
Yeah.
like, this really isn't allowed, and then does the thing.
But also, Kerri also writes really great author's notes at the end. So if you haven't read those, I highly recommend it because she talks about what she actually kept from the original story, because Jack the Ripper is a real case. So she writes like what she kept about the real case and then what she took the liberty to change to make it work for the story. And she does that in all 4 books.
Which is really cool. Yeah.
To go through, like, it's interesting. There's like one part in this that's like kind of paranormally, because there is a like a psychic, and it when you're reading the book, it seems really out of place, but there was an actual psychic that tried to help with the case, and so it's based off of that person. There's like some steampunk elements towards the end of the book. They kind of are sprinkled throughout, but really heavy at the end. It has a romance in it that is amazing. I don't know, Kate, do you agree?
That was the romance, the banter back and forth between the main character and the love interest was probably my favorite part of the story. So I liked the premise, but that part sold me.
The mystery is like not a huge mystery. We were at like chapter 9, 10 when we figured out who the killer was. And that's very early on in the book.
Yeah, that's what I texted Jessica at chapter 6, and I'm like, it's this guy, right? And she's like, if you keep reading, you'll know for sure, like chapter 10. And so I was like, okay, so I had this suspicion, and then I kept reading, and I was like, oh, okay, it is this guy for sure.
For sure. It's
this guy.
For sure.
Like,
so the mystery part is not what keeps you reading.
It's not, and that's what my non-spoiler complaint about it is that somewhere after that chapter 10 period, there's a time where the pacing just feels kind of off to me, and I couldn't figure out if that's because I'd solved the mystery and wasn't yet invested in when are my main characters going to solve it.
Yeah.
Because there is a point where I think it's supposed to be abundantly clear to the reader, and it's just confusing to our main character because she'd never suspect the person kind of thing.
Right.
We do hit that point eventually, but like there was a gap here where I was just kind of like, what am I doing? And then I got into it again. So like that's the complaint. I'd give it like, I don't know. I don't have a star system. So I was about to throw something out, but it wouldn't help.
I don't even know what I gave it because back in the day when I read this, I used to keep note cards, but I don't see them in here. So either I took them out and lost them, or this one I read so fast I didn't write any notes on. One of the two. But anyway, we're gonna spoiler some things. Right. I also have a full spoiler-filled review on my channel somewhere of this book that I did right after I read it. I forgot that exists. I think I've done a spoiler review for all 4 books on my channel. I do believe so. I could be wrong. I may not have done the 4th one, but I definitely did the other 2 for sure. Let's see. What did I originally give Stalking Jack the Ripper? I gave it a 4 stars.
Okay, and I was gonna my thrown out combo was like a 3.5. Where like it was an enjoyable read and I had fun with it. I think at the end I even said like I would read the rest of this series, but I'm not going to run out and buy or put the book on hold yet for the 2nd book. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was like, I would love to do it at some point, but like it's not propelling me to do it. Although I do love how it ended. Like the last few pages, as the sequitur into like setting up the next book was really cool.
I mean, the next book is Jack the Ripper is Dracula.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they are in a forensic school, and it's the romance just in a forensic school.
Yeah. Which, like, okay, maybe I was dumb when I saw all of these. I figured they were different characters. Like, before I'd read any of them, I thought, like, I didn't realize the series.
That makes sense because those people did not all exist at the same time.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, they're different.
Well, I think it was like the Dracula, she moved up a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
But the cruise ship one, which is the Escaping from Houdini, and the fourth book, which is Capturing the Devil, those two were only modified by like a year or so to fit the timeline.
I think when I checked Goodreads, this was the interesting thing to me was it was either the second or the third one, but there was a noticeable drop in the rating. So not that people had stopped reading the series, but they were like, this is the worst one of the series kind of thing. Or I was surprised that everyone seemed to be like somewhat in agreement.
The fourth book definitely is, you have to really love the characters.
Oh, really?
Okay. Really have to love the characters to enjoy the fourth book. Because its plot is
confusing. See, okay, number 1 and 3, I guess, were the lower rated ones. Number 2, I think, has the best ratings out of all of them.
2 is great for banter.
Okay.
4 is like, I knew who the killer was on page 2. Like literally on page 2.
Yeah.
I knew who the killer was of the fourth book. I didn't know why or how, or how it was connected.
This is it.
But I knew who it was on page 2. The third book, because love triangles. But Mephistopheles is amazing. Like if you think that Thomas Cresswell is an amazing character, wait until you meet Mephistopheles. He's amazing.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyway, no, great. Not that the villains are the same character, but that the main characters are the same character.
Yeah. Solving all of the mysteries.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to go into spoilers now. We're going to talk about spoiler things.
Spoiler bell or something.
Flash, will you ring a spoiler bell? What do you tell people? Flash says we're having spoilers.
Honey!
Spoilers! Flash! Spoilers! Why are you just licking me?
So cute! I love him just staring at the camera like, is this what you wanted? Is this it? Right here? Is this it? Yes!
Hey.
Hi, you're so cute!
Okay, get down now. Go play.
Oh.
Bye. I like this one. Wait, no. Good try, though. Good try. Yeah, Flash is big on kisses. He likes to lick a lot.
Oh, that's what Buffy and Zelda do. And you know what? Duke, since being here, will randomly get a little lick in. I'm like, dog.
We call that drive-by licking, where like you're just minding your own business, and they walk by and lick you and keep going. You're like, the heck?
Excuse you.
Drive-by licking is rude. Okay, so spoilers. On chapter 10, Kate said, actually, I think you were at chapter 9.
I don't remember. What did I say the exact message was? Because it was like such a clear and obvious. Oh yeah. The brother who's the killer says, I'm truly sorry you were the one to find him. And I was like, okay, Nathaniel. Like, so obviously it's you. And this is after it's kind of building and you're like, it's him. Right. So
right, for sure.
It confirms. Also, like, there were only so many characters it could have been that we were introduced to. So that's always the thing with mysteries, is that it's like, who of these characters? But this one didn't really feel like that. It was like, you have 2 options. And then they kept trying to pretend it was the dad. And it's like, I don't believe you.
Well, for me, it was chapter 10, because they're like sitting in the park having a picnic. And he's telling her about somebody that could help her with the case. And then literally in that chapter, they die. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, well, and I think at one point the brother even asked, like, I think they said something about like the mother being brought back or like some version of that, or like, would you be interested if that was possible? And she's like, I don't think so. And it's like, okay.
Sure, brother. Sure.
Yeah.
I will tell you, like, obviously you haven't read it, but the Cassie Clare novels, the Victorian era trilogy, there's a character named Nathaniel who's supposed to be like you're supposed to believe is a good character, who is a bad character, and so I for the rest of my life will never trust anyone named Nathaniel now.
You're like big
do it. If you have a book and it's written in the Victorian era and they have a character named Nathaniel, I don't care if they're the best character ever, I will not trust them.
Now this is my version of like you trying to fit all the tropes in. I'm gonna write a good Nathaniel set in the Victorian age just to be like, look, Jessica.
I'm not doing it.
Okay, that's what
I really liked him.
Yes, that was I think one of the first things, because I'm trying to edit back my reading vlog since I'm late on it now, but I was like, oh, Nathaniel's so great, blah blah blah. And then later I'm like, he did it.
He did it.
And he got worse. Like, and I know that they clearly had something at the end where they wanted to show that he'd like gone kind of mad. And it was like out of character, in character, out of character kind of thing.
He lost his mind.
He lost his mind. Yeah. But like, and all the hints are there. He slowly starts like acting less like himself that we saw at the beginning. But
I will tell you that when you make it to book 4, a lot of things will make more sense. Because there's a bigger plot arc that from this book that carries into book 4.
Okay. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. My brain just like went out the window. So how early on did you guess that they were trying to bring her back to life? Like, what was it that tipped you on that?
So I don't know, but I felt Frankenstein-y vibes the whole time. And I don't know if it's because of the pictures that they had throughout, but like they kept talking about like the different body parts, and it was clear that the uncle had done like thing. I don't know. It never felt like it was a surprise, I guess. Like, I don't know that anything was like, oh, this is what they're doing. It was like, yep, that seems like exactly what this story was going to be. I don't know.
Mine was like finding all the gears and stuff inside the body. So I'm like, why else would you put gears in a body but to try to make it like animatronic? And so like that was the like my brain caught on to that, and I was like, I bet it's
this
somebody trying to bring back somebody from the dead. And then I figured out who it was, and I was like, this makes sense.
Obviously. Well, that's when it was, and this was a little bit later, or I don't know how early it was, but something happens and it's on the mom's birthday is the first death, basically, when they backtrack it. So not the first one they think was Jack the Ripper, but the one that they later pieced was also Jack the Ripper, was on the mom's birthday. And it's like, well, okay. So I was like, yes, it's very, very interesting.
I think it's interesting that it took him a while to get to that point where he was like, I know what I'm going to do, because they talked about how much her body had decomposed before he had brought her to where he was able to keep her body from continuing to decompose.
Yeah.
Which is horrifying, which is why she heard someone scream but didn't know who it was. Makes so much sense, because I am with her on that.
5 years of the body just kind of, yeah.
I can't.
That was the one thing about this story is that hi Becca, is that it's definitely, when you piece it all together, it's actually much darker and creepier and like gross than you always realize even as you're reading it. Like, they didn't hold back on the descriptions, but I think because the voice of the character felt a little bit younger to me than recent YA, and maybe it's because the romance is like obviously more cute than like I mean, partially because they're living in a time where it has to be cute instead
Where
of
like when you hold each other's hand, your hands brush and like you're in love.
electricity. Yeah. So it felt a little bit younger, and then you actually line up all the stuff that happens in this book, and you're like, wait a second, like we talk about opium addiction and like all this stuff. And I was like, damn, okay.
Like we're pulling out pickled body parts and
yeah.
when I first read it the first time, however many years ago, I didn't think that I was gonna like it because it starts off like straight with just like ripping parts out of a body. And I wasn't sure that that was for me.
That's what it does seem to almost change tones like 3 different times in the first 3 chapters before we get to where we're about to be, which isn't super uncommon in mysteries. Yeah, yes. But like I think I was saying, I told Jess that I was really excited about the girl has to go undercover as a boy in school, and that happens all of once. And I was like, oh, okay. Which is fine. Like it made sense. And then like we moved on a little bit, but that's what it felt like. The first 3 chapters were almost different sorts of things to me.
Well, and I always wondered about it too, because like she only goes to the class the one time, but it doesn't seem like Thomas is ever not there either.
Yeah.
So like I wonder how often they actually have the class.
And this one does a good job of passing time. Like this is plus it has the dates on there, but like it starts August 30th and then ends, when is the end? Like in November. And so like she'll do a part where she's like, it's been weeks and we've tried X, Y, and Z kind of thing, and moves it along. That also helped to make the romance feel like, holy crap, they spent a lot of time together too. Yeah. So, which is better than it was kind of love at first sight. At least it was attraction at first sight. I loved that there wasn't a love triangle in this. They were just into each other.
Right. You don't get the love triangle till book 3.
Yes, which I did, we'll find out.
Which is great. I love that. Look, there are very few times where I'm like, love triangle, yes. That was one of them. So,
really? I feel like I felt like people were saying boo love triangle, so I'll have to.
Well, and I think that's because everyone is like so pro Audrey Rose and Thomas. Like they're like you've had them for 2 books. Like that's
very hard to introduce a love triangle later. Yeah,
it's very hard to try to introduce a love triangle in book 3. But I loved it.
Okay, yeah.
My thing is like, this is the first boy that she's ever had feelings for. And I think it shows that you're capable of having feelings for multiple people at the same time. And also that she can be sure about Thomas for the rest of her life because she chose him when she had other options.
That's interesting, yeah.
Rather than like being like, well, this was the first guy that I ever met and fell in love with, so I guess he's the one that I'll be with forever, which works for some people.
It's definitely overrepresented in YA.
Right. I like the idea that as a book for teens, that it shows them that there can be other people that can I don't think there's like one person that's going to solve your everything forever. I think there are multiple people that can work for you, but you have to figure out what kind of a future you want and what person is going to lead you to that future.
Mm-hmm.
So that love triangle worked for me. But also, I was in my 30s when I read that, and teenagers probably didn't like it.
That is a fair point.
Like, you're not, you have to write for your audience, but also not write things that are going to hurt your audience, if that makes sense.
That's with young adult especially, and as the genre and the readers have changed, the landscape's a little bit different.
True that. Yeah. What else do we want to talk about this book? Is there anything else? Maybe anybody else wants to bring up about this book that they want to talk about before we switch to the other book?
I want to say I loved the cousin.
Oh yeah, Liza.
She ended up filling the role that I wanted Nathaniel to fill at the start of the book.
Yeah.
Like just a counterbalance while still respecting Audrey Rose's differences. Like they're all living in this world that's not really a fair world. And then them kind of doing their own versions to not rebel, but like get what they want in this world that's not set up to give them what they want, kind of thing. So
I have there in my review, there are 2 quotes that I had. One was from Audrey Rose that said, "Pretend I am as capable as a man. Please, sir, do not value me so little."
mm,
And then the other was Liza, who said, "Wield your assets like a blade, cousin. No man has invented a corset for our brains. Let them think they rule the world. It's a queen who sits on that throne. Never forget that."
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
So I definitely love Liza, and she's in book 3 and 4. She's not in book 2.
Mm-hmm.
So because again, book 2 takes
It's
place in a weird place. So it's in Dracula's castle. You'll learn some things there. It's interesting.
Oh.
But yes, definitely, as Casey says, girls empowering girls.
Yeah.
Very true. I really like it. I really like Liza. She's great. She's fun. We should keep her around for forever.
Yes. We have.
Did anybody read Bloodchild by Octavia E. Butler? Is that right? Did I get the name right?
It is Octavia E. Butler, Bloodchild.
I feel like I know that name for some reason, but not as an author, but it doesn't, I don't know.
Who are you thinking of? I think there is an actress who has a similar name, but I know Octavia E. Butler is super famous also. So
I think I've just like meshed 8 people together. I don't know. I'm looking to see if anyone has read this book.
I know that's what we will give it time. And it was a short story. It was 30 pages or so.
Could be Octavia Spencer. Could be the Octavia part that's like hurting with my brain. I don't know. I know when Kate suggested this book, I was like, she writes books? Which reminds me, I need to look up the book for next round.
Yes, yeah. Well, so this one's a short story, and it was similarly creepy. This is Spooktober. But this one I'd argue is a little bit more creepy crawly and like makes you think a little bit about stuff rather than obviously telling like a full tale like I think short stories tend to.
I think it's gross for sure.
Yeah.
Like, how did we end up with 2 books of entrails?
For real though, yeah. Like yeah.
Well, Jessica, I highly recommend that you keep trying and read it because it is just like a 30-page short story. It's something else.
It's basically set in like this far off future where Terrans, or basically humans, live in a world with these insect-like creatures that both play host to them, and like they have to live together in some way, and it's interesting. So anyways, I had a lot of quotes here as I was reading through where I was like, what's gonna happen? And yeah, I do like, let me see if I can find.
I read, I think it was the, dang, I wish I could remember anything. There was a quote from her where someone asked about if she thought that if she wrote the book based off of how she thought about slavery. And she said no, that it was about maybe there was like
read it to you because I have the afterword in my.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was in. Yeah, that. Do that.
It amazes me that some people have seen Bloodchild as a story of slavery. It isn't. It's a number of other things, though. On one level, it's a love story between two very different beings, which you do get a sense of, that there is a genuine, deep love. And yet at the same time, it's like they were both born to do a thing for the other. On another, it's a coming-of-age story in which a boy must absorb disturbing information and use it to make a decision that will affect the rest of his life. On a third level, Bloodchild is my pregnant man story, which I did highlight one of the words where the sister of the character is trying to take away the responsibility of carrying the child, the eggs, the children, the hosts that could potentially kill him. And there's a point where it says, it will be easier for Hoa. She is always expected to carry other lives inside her. So it'll be easier for the woman who's always expected to carry. And I thought that was powerful. And then he ends up doing it anyways of his own volition, but.
Which is weird, but I think it's that love story thing. Like, I think it's, well, I mean, first off, it's kind of like Stockholm Syndrome because he was literally raised.
He was raised
to be a host body for her young.
Yes. Yes. She was born of his dad. That was the part that tripped me out, where I was like, oh, it's like a weird incestual.
I didn't get that.
That's why it's one of the lines at the end where she was like one of the little maggot things that gets pulled out of his dad way back when.
I thought that they said that the mom and her had grown up together.
They did also, and then she introduced. I'll see if I can find the line because I, as you can see, dog-eared all of my stuff.
I must have missed something.
Well, so this is the interesting thing about the short stories too, though, is that you can't quite encapsulate it, and yet it's almost better that it's so short. So some stuff is told in one sentence, and it's like a blink and you miss. Let me see. Anyways, but we get to watch in horror as we see how how they're impregnated and how it can potentially kill them if it goes wrong, and then all this stuff.
It's like they are oppressed for sure.
Yes,
because it sounds like outside of the I don't know, the conservatory or whatever they want to call it, the nature preserve. What do they call it? I think they call it the preserve.
Preservation, yeah.
Preservation. I think it's just like a wild free-for-all. Like they just hold humans in cages and reproduce with their bodies.
Yeah.
But in the preserve, like you can have a life, but you are expected at some point to be a host for their children, which is weird. And I envision them as like some giant slug creature.
Which I imagined a giant praying mantis because they talk about the ticking and the extra arms and but then I loved actually her description of where she says they move like water and how graceful and whatever they do, but it's also super creepy. Jessica's over there.
No, it's not okay.
It was fascinating.
It is fascinating, and I think if you can handle a story of that level, please be aware that like there's guts and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Do read it. It's very good.
But like, this is your.
But also disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like there was no holding back. Similar to this book, there's really no holding back.
No, they're just like ripping out intros left and right.
I started reading it while I was eating a brownie and like drinking stuff, and I was like, this might not be the book to multitask in this way.
Probably should just put the food away and read.
Yeah, that was kind of the lesson I learned.
At least you were eating spaghetti.
Yes, that would have been. I would have had to put it down.
Right. This is the thing, Nina.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of what I got.
I just watched that episode not too long ago because I just restarted my Buffy watch recently.
I'm still trying to find the part about the dad. but I know I can find it.
I might be able to get the book again from the library and read it. I mean, I guess it's possible that the dad could be a lot older than the mom.
Well, the dad is a lot older than the mom. Like, they say that a couple of times where the dad was significantly older and like he basically ended up remarrying their mom or marrying their mom later in life and having more kids. And then they drink the egg stuff and it makes them live longer too. So which is weird, but I do kind of like that the mom.
Nana's here.
No, that the mom was almost rebelling because she didn't want to see what was going to happen to her kid. So she wasn't drinking the egg stuff to live longer because she didn't want to see what was going to happen.
Well, and it also made them like very calm and I think receptive of the creepy bug thing living in their house.
Yeah. Yep.
And I thought that might have been a reason why the boy got more of it as well, was because he was going to be the one that needed the most convincing because she was going to implant her eggs in him.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean,
soothe.
Gross.
Well, and then when the implantation happens, because it kind of goes back to the love story, like, it does feel like a almost loving thing as it happened. So it really kind of trips you out. And for 30 pages of a short story, again, if you can stomach it, I'd really recommend it. It's Bloodchild.
Bloodchild.
By Octavia E. Butler.
I don't have the book or I would show it to you. What are you doing, Catherine?
I was taking a picture outside.
Oh. You're not allowed to take pictures outside. You're inside. Okay. Are we ready to talk about what book we're going to do next month?
I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too. But it was a good book and you should read it. Unless you want to accept that half of your brain already read it and therefore it's covered. I don't know. So next month we will be reading. Can I share my screen? Because I don't own it. So like I have to
either. Yeah.
I have to go hardcore. Ta-da!
Yay!
Meet cute. Some people, what's it say? Meet cute. Some people are destined to meet. That's what it's called. Jeez Louise, Jessica. That's right there in front of your face. And it is a compilation of short stories by several people, including Jennifer L. Armentrout, Danielle Clayton. I said that completely wrong. Please fire me. Katie Coutinho, Jocelyn Davies, Huntley Fitzpatrick, Nina LaCour, Emery Lord, Catherine McNee, Cass Morgan, Julie Murphy, Meredith Russo. I believe that says Sarah Shepard, but it's really tiny and I can't tell you for sure. Nicola Yoon and Evie Zaboy. There you go. I read them all. Go me.
Yay! I think it'll be fun. It'll be nice to have like a mix up of not just novel length stuff. Like we tried to throw in a short story this time, but obviously this is actually, I think for a lot of people, this one's a harder one to find. So it'll be nice to read some short story novella length stuff. Different ones.
Short story, a lot of different authors, a lot of marginalized authors. So we're like hitting a lot of buttons, and also it's for like Christmas and Thanksgiving season, so holiday season, if you will. Some people don't celebrate one or either of those. So, you know, you may have time, but some of us celebrate them, but I don't know. Either way, what I'm saying is that we talked about picking like a specific one to read as a group and then like possibly reading the whole thing, but we didn't do that because we're horrible people. So I don't know, but just read them all.
Read them all. It's fine because all of them combined will be one novel length. Now you can take them in little bite sizes, and I think it'll be fun to discuss our favorites and potentially like find some new authors that we love that we hadn't tried before, which I think is the main point of doing all of these kind of compilation. That's not the word. What's the actual word that I'm looking for?
Collection?
Yeah, that's not the word, but that's also a word that works.
It is a word.
Anthology. That's why you read the anthologies. So we're both just like coming up with non-book terms for the exact same thing.
I mean,
we got there.
I think it is. Generally, I very rarely rate an anthology higher than like 3.5 stars because there's always like some I really love and some that I really don't care for.
Yeah.
Very often, rarely ever, very often.
I knew what you meant. But I think that's an excellent point that it's a lot of them, most of them are not going to be knockouts for you, but there could be a couple.
Yeah, that are going to like blow you out of the water. And I think that's going to be fun is to hear like what Kate loves and what I love and what you guys love. Like what books are specifically like what story is specifically your favorite out of that grouping.
Yeah.
Where were you guys at 5 minutes ago when we're over here living in the land of what is it? Oh my gosh. I don't even know words today.
I missed part of that sentence, so I'm not here to help, unfortunately.
I said I don't even know what words are today.
Also that, yes.
The lag, wow. I'm done.
Yes, Athena. Yeah, the whole thing as a total could be so-so because some might be like a 1 star for you personally, but it'll be fun to see who's everyone's 5 star is. Or if we're even gonna, I think it'd be interesting if we have like a one answer that we're all like, yes, that one was our favorite, or if we're all gonna be scattered.
So if you read the whole thing, come in with the idea of what was your favorite and what was your least favorite. And we'll discuss those for sure.
Yes.
I think words are just hard for me today because I haven't peopled for a week.
You're out of practice.
Well, my mom is on vacation this week as well, but she's actually not here on vacation.
Oh, that's nice.
So, like, there's been no people since Saturday. I haven't spoken to a human since Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, I've forgotten now.
Yeah.
What are people? Tomorrow, when our super secret spy videos go up, which you probably don't know that's happening tomorrow because you didn't participate this time. But there are some people in the chat who did. I literally got to the point where I was just like so giddy over the things that my secret Santa sent me, who's in the chat currently, that I literally was just like giggling. I was like, I can't anymore. I'm out, and I hit the button. Like that was the end of my video. Like I'm done. And
I cannot wait for those to go up. And I'm just going to be binge watching them. They're going to be my rewards for like every incremental thing I do. What time, Jessica? Do you know?
So for the 20 of you that are here, it's a secret. But they're going up tomorrow. I think at like
in the morning.
In the morning, 9 o'clock Eastern time, I believe.
Hell yeah! Okay, so plenty of time for me to binge several of them before.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of them. They all go live tomorrow morning, so
I'm very excited.
But not a secret because half the people who did it are in this chat. Because there's only 20 people here, and I can see some of them from here. It's fine. I love it about 25 times in my video. Yes, Nina, it's meet cute, but it's also some people are destined to find each other because there's more than one meet cute.
There are multiple.
If you look up the meet cute that has a bunch of like couples' faces on it, that's the one you want.
Yes. That's so not this one where there's only 2. but this one there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's also some others like Meet Cute Club and Meet Cute Diary, Tweet Cute. You want the one with the white cover with lots of multiple couple faces on it.
Yes.
That's the one you want. The person who got my package finally got it yesterday or the day before. It's been in customs since the 8th. And it still says it's in customs, but it did show up at their house. And they sent me a message and was like, so I'm editing my video and I just had to delete out a part where I said, this looks like a pen while I was holding a pen.
That's cute.
I'm like, we all get so flustered. Like, it's the stationery. We all we lose our shit. We're like, I don't know how to act. Stationery and shiny things. So we freak out and then it's a mess.
I'm so excited.
So yeah. Yeah. And my Diet Coke is all gone.
I'm also almost out of my water.
I had a early weigh-in this week. I weighed in today instead of tomorrow. So I could have some junk food today because I was going to town today.
Yes.
And I had a Diet Coke from McDonald's because it's the best Diet Coke, in case you didn't know.
I've heard from multiple people that McDonald's put something. Is it like extra fizzy?
I don't know. It's just it's special. I don't know if they put crack in it. I don't know what they do, but
something.
I didn't get anything else from McDonald's, but I got a McDonald's Diet Coke.
That's awesome. I have been watching Laura's Instagram stories where she's doing no pizza for a month. And let me tell you, every time I see one of her stories, you know what I immediately want? Pizza. To the point that I actually made pizza the other day because I was like, I couldn't get it out of my head. So I'm glad it's working well for her, but also I've consumed more pizza.
I can't have the pizza either until the whatever day because I'm doing it too.
You're doing it too?
So whatever day we're not allowed to have the pizza until the 19th, I think, or something stupid. I don't know whose idea this was. It was Laura's. But so, I mean, you just have to find other things to eat. It does kind of suck, but also not. So
yeah, I appreciate the willpower.
I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, they double the amount of syrup. If that's a true thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
No, it's no pizza for a month. A month. I had pizza. Wait, I've had pizza 3 times because of her IG story.
Thank you, Becca. I'm over here now I got it way too much.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Okay, yeah.
You and Bex are not trying to lose weight. So the 4 of us are trying to lose weight.
Wait, who else is doing it?
Who
into this?
Kevin and Laura and the rest of their brothers. And then me, and I think that Kristen is also doing it, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. But yeah, the brothers are all supposed to be doing it too. So I guess it's a family challenge because I am the sibling that just joined the group afterwards for some reason. Don't know why. So look at this. Look at this. Now I want pizza.
I'm saying I have half a burger left over from lunch, so I'm gonna have that instead. But the drive to make a pizza right now is very strong.
I think I haven't had homemade pizza in a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
I've had takeout pizza forever. So I think the week that we're gonna do the pizza party, I think I'm gonna make a homemade pizza that night.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna weigh in early that week. I'm gonna weigh in on Thursday instead of Friday. And then Thursday I'm gonna eat a whole pizza.
And then be done.
It's gonna negate anything that happened in the month prior. But I'm okay with it.
Nah.
Gotta live your life, man.
Yeah, that's what 80-20 or whatever.
It is supposed to be 80-20. 80 fruits and vegetables, 20 whatever works for you.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. eat a salad and chicken wings, but I get the pizza smell. I mean, it's fair. Yes, I also make pizzas like with tortillas, with cauliflower crust. But the challenge was no pizza. Like no pizza sandwiches, nothing pizza. Like nothing pizza is the challenge. And it's really just because I know like they both had pizza a million times a week growing up, and like I had pizza every week growing up, and I still kind of sort of to this day like have pizza once a week, every week.
Yeah.
And like I weigh 300 pounds, so you probably shouldn't do that. So, we're trying some things.
I think trying stuff's great. Because why not?
I can't hurt.
Yeah, just challenge.
We're all gonna die one day or another, so.
And this is how we like to end our live streams. We are all going to die one way or the other. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Well, now you know what book we're gonna read next month.
Me too.
Not next month. Next month and December, because it's 2 months. And the next 2 months will be on Kate's channel.
Yes. We will be talking NaNoWriMo for sure. Haven't decided if we're going to make it like, probably not sprints, but who knows? Maybe we'll change our minds, because every time we try and do a NaNoWriMo topic, people ask if we're doing sprints. So we might just cave. And then December, we'll mostly book chat, but we'll find a topic of sorts.
That's hopefully not. We're all going to die at some point anyway.
Right. Yes.
True.
But we'll end off with it.
It's true. I want you guys to know, because this is my platform and this is how I live my life. I spent 4 hours of my day yesterday watching the entire season of Julie and the Phantoms, and I sobbed for an hour.
What is that on?
Netflix.
Okay.
So it's directed by Kenny Ortega, who did like High School Musical, Camp Rock, Descendants, pretty much anything that's been on the Disney Channel that for years and years and years. Yeah. And also like ABC Family stuff, and he's been around forever.
Yeah.
It has some really kick-ass pop tunes. All of the people that play the band members actually do their own singing, play their own instruments. Like they are actually like doing the thing.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That is very cool.
But it's a story about a girl who is a musician who plays piano and was a singer, and her mom dies, and so she stops doing all of those things. And like a year later, that she's about to get kicked out of her school program because it's a music school. And these 3 ghost dudes who died in 95 show up in her garage, because that used to be their practice place. And when they sing with her, other people can see them, and people think that they're like holograms. So it's Julie and the Phantoms is the name of the band. And it like goes through like them trying to cope with like they didn't know that they'd been dead for 25 years. Like to them it was just like an hour or two.
Yeah.
And so like they have to come to grips with the fact that like their families are 25 years further than what they were. And it's just the second to last episode, it wasn't even a quiet sob. It wasn't even like when you're watching TV and you got tears rolling down your cheeks. It was actual like racking sobs. You're so fucking sad. So like go watch it.
I have added it to my list. I also don't know if I'm prepared.
It's amazing. There's like, okay, I don't know what episode it is, but there is an episode that has I'll never remember his last name, but his first name's Cheyenne, and he was Hades in the Descendants series. And he does it's kind of like a big band esque dance number thing, and he does that a couple of times during that episode. And as much as I love him and his voice, I kind of tuned all that out because it wasn't like really driving the plot any, in my opinion. So like I zoned out. It was kind of like the musical episode of Gilmore Girls, the revival. You just block it out.
I never watched that.
It didn't forward the plot any, but like everything else was fantastic.
Okay.
I downloaded the soundtrack. I've been listening to it all day. Like, I'm telling you.
Okay.
That's how we end this stream, by me.
Good. Maybe by next time we do it, I'll have watched it. And I too can sob with you.
It does have Boo Boo Stewart in it. It has a gay romance in it. It has a regular romance too, but it has a gay romance in it. The lead actor is Latinx, so like it's got some diversity in it. It's great. It's based off of a book series, I think, like a Latin book series. I think the original TV show was out in the early 2000s, maybe. I don't know. Look at this. How dare you say 1995 was 25 years ago? I had the same thought when it was like, this show starts out with like 1995 and then it shows 2020. And I was like, oh, so it's been 15 years. And then my brain was like,
wait a second. No.
What? Because math is hard. Hey, everybody, it's been 2 hours. Kate and I have lives to live.
And we drink all of our drinks and need to go.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.